All right, good afternoon. This is Bart from multirotorforums.com. I am in Tel Aviv, Israel today with Roee from Phobotic, and their new product just hit. It's the Centerpiece. It's a brushless gimbal controller for your camera mounts. They actually have two products. There's the standard version and the high voltage version. They run on different power ratings. They have different IMUs depending on what your quality needs are. So, Roee, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself first? How'd you get started with electronics education?
So I was.
Hang on one second. What kind of beer would you like?
I take an Heineken.
I don't have. I have black Iceberg or Tuval. And for you?
I'll just have a Coke, please.
Coke. Would you like something on the side?
Do you like hummus? You want some like pita and hummus or something to chew on? Do you like a pita and hummus? Something like that?
You want to share, right?
Yeah, we'll just put it out here. Thank you. Alright, want to start over?
Okay. So I was around electronics most of my life. Started even as a kid. I used to play with it a bit. Then I actually worked in developing some stuff even before the mandatory Israeli army service.
Right.
Then
so you were designing and making electronics as a hobby even before you did your mandatory military service with IDF. So you're born and raised in Israel?
Yeah, Israel. Started doing RC stuff about the age of 11. Got my first kiosk RC car. Played with that a bit. So I was hooked on RC ever since. Mostly around cars, not the flying things up until a few years ago. So for the last, let's say for the last 13, 14 years, I've been developing electronics and software.
And you went to school in Israel?
Yeah, I went to school in Israel. I'm mostly coming from the software side, software guy, but doing embedded systems, you kind of deal with both the software and the hardware.
Roee was telling me before we started the video that he worked in industry doing embedded systems, you did embedded software components or parts of a bigger project.
Yeah.
You specialized in focused.
Yeah, I've been doing, I have a company in Israel doing contracting work. We designed for probably a bit over 30 projects between 2004 and 2012. Doing all kinds of stuff from consumer electronics to medical devices to even some defense systems, and we've done and seen it pretty much all. Also working with some semiconductor companies providing consultancy.
So when did you get the idea? What were you doing that exposed you to the need for control systems for camera mounts that were being flown around on RC helicopters?
So I've been flying RC since 2009. Started flying helicopters.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so I'm coming from there, and at some point I want to get the camera up in the air, seeing what it's like. Got my first multi-rotor, F450, and I couldn't find a stabilization solution that worked for me. Apart, of course, back then we had that was in 2012. I think we had
so long ago.
Yeah, so long ago. in multi-rotor terms, that's like another era.
Centuries.
Yeah. So back then we had the DJI, the C15, which I still regard as a very nice system. And
brushless.
Yeah, the first one in the market. But that.
Thank you. We're having lunch at the same time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you started with a Zen News on your Phantom
we didn't buy them because they were so expensive, but we saw them, and they were impressive. And then
this is probably the first thing they teach you in journalism school is don't sit eating and drinking during your interview.
But if you do that, at least have some.
He doesn't have a lot of time, and I have to leave soon. So anyway,
on the same order. So So there was that Z15 that was ruling the market back then, and we thought, okay, we can probably make it. We think we can make it better. We think we can make it cheaper. And then Alex Moss came along, which completely changed the market and just opened a lot of new possibilities.
That's a question I have. When it came time to design your centerpiece, how much had you already, with your background, you can look at the boards, you can maybe crack open the software to see how they're going about, how their algorithms are built. So to what degree, when you were designing the centerpiece, did you bring some of that knowledge, or was it completely a clean sheet? Like how much of what you already saw did you incorporate, or to what degree was your design a complete clean sheet?
You're referring to the other stabilization systems in the market back then, or
well, you mentioned Alex Moss.
Yeah.
Did you have other boards? Did you do anything with other boards, or did you start from scratch with your own ideas of how to go about stabilizing the camera?
We started this design before I ever saw an Alex Moss board in real life. We got an Alex Moss board later to see, how it performs. We got an 8-bit, but that was after the system was.
You just bought it for comparison's sake.
Actually, we got it on some gimbal that we bought for using with the Centerpiece. Then we got an Alex Moss board as well, and we use it just to see how things are done in the other side of the market.
Right.
But honestly, we never took the time to really compare them. We didn't think it's fair because we never published any kind of comparison video or so on, because we never thought it's fair to being the ones tuning our competitor's product, So we're trying to pretty much create our own kind of.
You've been doing your own thing.
Yeah, doing our own.
Okay, that's not unlike a lot of other companies. Yeah. You would think they'd all be studying each other, but the ones that I've spoken to, they really haven't. So that's not unusual, what you said.
We think that there's enough accumulated experience with the other system now to learn from that, and without needing to go and really analyze them or engineer them or whatever. I mean, this market is very, there is a wealth of knowledge. It's not like a black box somewhere. So you can kind of get the impression and learn from the mistakes of others. You could say.
So you've got two boards. You have the Centerpiece and the Centerpiece HV. The Centerpiece goes up to 5S power. Yeah. The HV goes up to 10S, and the HV goes up to 12 amps also. So is there much difference in terms of the quality of the stabilization, or is it more one's going to handle bigger cameras, more powerful camera mounts? Is that the main differentiation? Is one like a light version of the other, or are they just strictly one's got greater power abilities?
The HV is the one with the great power ability, but the basic stabilization remains the same. However, the HV adds the second IMU to the basic package.
Right, but the basic one also can take 2 IMUs.
Can take 2 IMUs, but sold as a default with a single IMU. So actually, you can add another IMU to that if you're interested. But the main
stabilization is the same.
Stabilization is the same. The HV has the greater voltage rating capacity, has a greater current rating capacity.
And so it's got capacitors and stuff. It's a more robust.
Yeah, it's a very robust board.
Physical.
Board. It's actually. The software is the same, both. But there's a lot of discussion on which I have. So the HV is the one having the second IMU and also having Bluetooth.
Oh, okay. So you can tune it remotely with an Android device or an iPhone or something.
But it's not a very high-profile feature for us because we don't at the moment we have no kind of Bluetooth application.
I got you. So it's a future use.
Yeah, it's a future use. So we keep that. It has a Bluetooth, but it will take us some time before we can actually use it.
Okay. Now, cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming out. Guy's very busy. He took time out to come sit with us and to talk about his products. I very much appreciate you taking the time out, especially to drive here. You're not. How far away are you from the
not very far away, but now on Saturday,
yeah, traffic.
It's a busy day. Yeah.
Parking, right? So you've had the rollout, you've started shipping boards. So far the response has been pretty positive. You sold out the first batch?
Yeah, we sold out the first batch in like, I think in like 10 days,
right?
Probably.
And I've heard good things about the stability of the system. The video you have on your website looks good. So, for the most part, you've had a successful rollout. You've met your goals, you've got great camera stabilization, you've got self-tuning, which in and of itself is a pretty substantial accomplishment.
Yeah, actually we're the only manufacturer today that has completely self-tuning system that encompasses the entire set of parameters.
Okay.
I mean, the other systems like like the Ronin or the M10.
Yeah, Freefly just released self-tuning.
Yeah, they have the self-tuning, but it's just, I mean, it does a partial set of parameters compared to what we do, because our system is very open-ended. You can use the centerpiece on whatever you want. Yeah, and that's because of that we have tuning for the entire set of parameters, which is a lot on the centerpiece. Whoever saw the centerpiece dashboard can get an idea of how much stuff we have. But the system figures out everything, and we are aiming to be the closest to just press a button and go fly experience that you can buy.
Okay, that's interesting that you set that goal. That you want yours to be as requires the person setting it up to have as little input as possible.
Yeah.
Yours will do everything.
Yeah, and this is a very tough task to do with all the variants in gimbals and motors and cameras and payloads. I mean, no two gimbals are alike, you know?
Right.
That complicates it.
Even two from the same company could have variations.
Yeah, absolutely.
The efficiency of the motors, the torque required, you might have little imperfections in the construction.
And the final assembly of the user, the balancing, the kind of camera. No two cameras are usually alike.
So some of the problems you've had so far, I've seen mentioned that some of the interface issues where you're getting error messages when people are trying to do certain functions in the dashboard.
Yeah.
Is that something that's, I would imagine you're working on all of this stuff. You told me you're pretty much working 24/7 at the moment trying to resolve things.
So
why don't you tell me, what are the top 3 issues that have come up since you released it that you're currently working on for users?
So the application disconnection and the communication errors, most of those trace back to people not doing the upgrade, the first upgrade that we are going to do.
Firmware upgrade?
Yeah, the firmware upgrade. Because what happened is that when we released the board and the application, and then we had some issues with some testers, some first customers, reliability issues that are not exactly, there are some in the system, but that's something that's coming from the kind of...
I saw you mention that, there's compatibility issues, and you said in the future, where there's a compatibility issue, you won't be able to do anything with the system until the compatibility issues are resolved. So you're going to be self-testing for compatibility between dashboard and firmware?
Yeah.
Is that what you'll be doing?
So what happened is that we updated the protocol communicating between the application and the firmware, and made it more robust. But that required some protocol changes, and what happened is that the newer application could talk only to the newer firmware, and then people got those disconnection messages when they were without firmware. This change was necessary, but for the next version, what we're going to do, as of the next version, we're going to bundle the application and the firmware together, so one will not be updated without the other.
Oh, I got
This will be a very hands-off update mechanism. You will just be getting the new application from the Google Chrome store, like you do today. It's a completely automatic process.
Right.
When you connect the board for the next time, you will be prompted to update your firmware. Now the software is backward compatible, so you could still retain the old firmware with the new one.
That's so important to maintain access to prior firmware.
Yes. We understand
the companies that will force you to upgrade, but then they bury the old versions only to find out that the new versions are buggy.
Yeah.
And then people who need to continue working, they need to continue getting the equipment operating. Their hands are tied because now, unless somebody actually has an old version that they can put online for us to download, Yeah. Even though you might think the old versions aren't necessary, it's just a very conservative thing and a very smart thing to offer the user base access to.
We are coming out with the assumption that a lot of our users will be pro users. I mean, you could see by the kind of guys that bought the system ahead of the release that ordered it. I would say about...
You know who you are.
Yeah, you know, and thank you. About 40% of them, I think, I would say just in a rough estimate, are production companies that use the system to make money.
Right.
And we know that we have a lot of responsibility. You know, like when you're shooting stuff, then it might be like a one-time occasion. It might be a large production and so on. So we don't want to twist their hands too much to use new firmware.
Right. That makes sense.
We're trying to maintain it.
Unless it's a critical update or something, you know, a really bad error.
And you can always revert the software going back. I mean, you're not just bound to that automatic update. You can go and update manually with two ways: through the application, through the USB recovery mode. And we try to make it as user controlled as possible.
Okay. So what are some other? So out of the top three, the first one you said was firmware, software compatibility issues. What's the next biggest issue you're currently trying to resolve that's come up since the release to customers?
I would say that the two main issues that are at our top priority.
Right.
The first one being, of course, the auto-tuning. It has achieved good results, but so far, I mean, we've had a lot of guys reporting success with it. Not everyone got perfect results, but as far as I know, all of them got better results than what they had before.
And as the user base continues to get experience, and they continue to interact with each other on websites, you know, online, multirotorforums.com is a great place.
Yeah, I would go there.
Yeah. As people are getting to know, you know, how to go about doing it for best results, you'll probably see less of them coming back to you for explanations. But right now, is there anything you're working on to improve that so that people on their own are going to get better results just on the first try?
So what's going on is that now we have accumulated a lot of information from the auto-tuning process. Since of the latest version, 1.328, we've incorporated diagnostic upload feature in our application. And what it does is send us a huge amount of information, like going like tens of power cycles back. So we can see what the system did during auto-tune. We can see what it did in the air. You know, we had a user put the system on a fixed wing now, and he said that during launch he lost the gimbal. I mean, the gimbal was not tracking correctly or something. I just asked him to send over the logs. I could see exactly the moment he got in the air. I could see what happened. I could tell him, I could instruct him to change this and that. Flew again, said it is fantastic. That's the best fixing stabilization. So this is the kind of
you're tweaking the self-tuning function.
We are tweaking, but more importantly, we are not tweaking blindly, because while we were developing, we had access to about 10 or 12 gimbals.
That's a lot.
It was the routine access we had when you take all our gimbals and the Tesla gimbals.
I'm insulted you didn't ask me for one of mine, but mine are off the market, so can't blame you for not asking.
What we did was, we optimized the performance of those gimbals.
Right.
I mean, we didn't release the system until all those gimbals functioned perfectly.
Right.
But at the point it happened, I mean, we were out of testing options. I mean, it didn't make sense for us to go and get more and more gimbals.
Right. Short of bringing in a team of strangers.
Yeah, exactly, because the human factor
much else
is very
you can do
important.
at that point.
The human factor is very important. Sure. I mean, what kind of assembly you do, how you bounce it.
Yeah, no, it's impossible for you to approach something the way a totally ignorant, totally new user would.
Yeah.
So you thought you were at the point where they were ready for release. Now you've gotten a lot of real-world feedback,
and now with this diagnostic tool, we don't have just we don't have just like a user like they don't just come to us and say, okay, we have a problem.
Right.
They come to us. I mean, it's one button in the application. You just click that, fill in your problem description. We get all the data, and we can sit and analyze that and offer you real-time solutions. In a few hours, we will be offering you solutions and accumulating the data for us to further tweak the system. This is very important.
So let me ask you, the third major problem, is it the landing gear?
No, the landing gear.
Fixed landing gear?
I wouldn't put the landing gear as an actual problem because frankly we don't have enough information on that matter right now.
But you're still trying to. I mean, it's got to be a big issue because a lot of the camera mounts have.
No, not at the point. I mean, it is, of course, it is a big issue for those with landing gears that have problems. But up to now, we only had a single instance of the system not working with the landing gear. That was in tests made by Exacrafter.
Right.
And we need to see whether this is an isolated incident with the gimbal or something that would happen to other users. I think we just had a user with a SignStar style, or actually a SignStar gimbal.
Cinestar.
Yeah.
Or a clone, probably.
Yeah. He tuned it and I think he got fine results.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if he has taken it up there.
That's another challenge with this stuff, is that you're putting out a component and you're counting on your users to put it on their systems.
Yeah.
And I mean, there could be an infinite number of variables.
Yeah, and it's a very open-ended application, as open-ended as you get. Because of that, and this would probably bring us to the next issue, which is the kind of what kind of interactions we have with the user. That's like the big challenge of us now. No, I wouldn't say this is the rotating landing gear. The rotating landing gear it's a technical issue that if it actually exists in a wide scale, even if it's one gimbal, we want to get to the root of it and fix whatever we can. Of course, landing gears never, integrated rotating landing gears never make a gimbal work better. Okay, because what happens is that you don't have a lot of extra mass. Compared to a 3 kilograms camera, the extra mass would be not insignificant.
Right.
But what you have is a lot of like a slang far away, material that's going to resonate and vibrate, and that might.
The vibration's all going to be picked up. If your landing gear is a little on the flimsy side, if it's vibrating,
it's going to resonate.
Is picking it up.
It's it's a bit of it's like a string. It's going to resonate. It's a long bit of carbon.
Sure.
So. But we will get to that. I'm not worried about that. It's just a matter of us having the systems and being to reproduce the issues on our side and fix them. I would say the big challenge now is to set up the best kind of support and information transfer we can have with the users. Okay, because this is not a simple application. We are trying to simplify, but there is actually a lot that there's a lot that can go wrong with gimbals, and a lot of other issues. And this is why getting the right support solution was paramount for us. So what we did was first to incorporate this diagnostic system into the application, and this is only going to evolve.
That way you get very objective data to analyze rather than just somebody telling you started doing this or that.
I saw a user, he was complaining that your axis was not operating correctly in there.
I saw that. Jeff Rowe, that was you. I
could see that. I could see that exactly. Some other guy, said that he had some problem with the follow. I traced it back and saw that it's another issue altogether, something with his role. So we are going to offer an unprecedented level of insight and understanding into the system. Now the important thing for us is to take our support resources and as much as we can and transfer this knowledge back to the users.
Right.
This is why we're having very heavy presence on forums, especially on
multi-rotor forums.
Yeah, and we have our own forums that's dedicated for.
I saw that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I don't think about it once involved filled with questions about the Centerpiece.
Right.
So we are trying to concentrate everything.
And I see those of you that are on these other forums.
Yeah, those are tagged already. We are trying to make this process as open as possible. So we are not telling users, come to us, let's solve our issues in private.
Private, that's bad.
Yeah, we're not doing that because when you're solving users' issues in private, there is no accumulation of knowledge in the greater community.
Plus, also, people don't see you helping other users, and everybody starts to doubt whether or not you're really just trying to make money or whether you're really involved with the users.
But on the other hand, when you publicize all the issues, then users might think that there are a lot of issues. But
it's hard. It's a fine line to walk.
Yeah,
I definitely, I own the forum site, so everybody knows, apart from Multi-Rotor Forums, that I have an opinion on it. But I've seen how companies are received in the community when they only do private problem solving.
Usually,
and it's in private. It's a lot easier for the company to say, "This is a problem you created. Our system is not the problem."
Go away. Yeah.
So doing it in public gives you a lot of credibility. It can be harder at times because you're taking you're taking shots from all different directions.
Yeah, and
trust me, the community will respect you more in the long run.
It makes us seem to have a lot more issues than we have because the first thing we say to a user that has problems, go to the forum, open a new page. It is never send us an email. We'll close. I mean, usually when you have a technical issue with a product in this market, the company will tell you, go ahead, please mail us, okay, and try to get it off the public records as possible. We go the other way. Go to our forums, go to other forums, report your issue, let everyone see that issue, let us solve this publicly, and let others learn from that. And we want to have. We know that the only way forward was to create a community that, as much as possible, contains this knowledge and only needs us for really complicated cases. Yeah.
So the next question then is: you've got the release, you've got 2 boards, things are going relatively well, you're on top of the major problems. You want to talk about what's coming next? What direction is Phobotic going in from here?
Yeah.
Or are you too busy to talk about it?
No, we're good with that. What I can talk about right now is okay. So first of all, Centerpiece is going to be a product with a long lifespan. Okay, we're preparing to add features and support it. Some of those features are very major. Okay, and this is something that's going. You saw that
too much.
Yeah, you saw the Centerpiece. Centerpiece is a pretty evolved and able board.
Right. And it's got multiple outputs.
Yeah, and
it's got lots of ability to be expanded. It's got communication capabilities with multiple external sources.
And we are going to take advantage of all of that. We're coming out with some upgrades. The first one. Okay, so apart from those software and capability updates, the first major thing that we are going to release soon is called the Serenity. That's our new IMU module. This is a very complicated IMU module compared to the rest of the stuff in the market. It's a world apart from our current timing solution, which is it's acceptable, but ultimately there's so much you can do with $400 hardware. So the Serenity, it unbounds us. Okay, it releases those limitations and gets us to use the real, what the manufacturers call the tactical grade components to get a very capable system.
Tactical grade components?
Yeah, that's what they call the IMUs, the really heavyweight stuff.
Can I ask you a question while you're talking about that? It seems to me with camera mounts that the lag or the latency in electronic guys, in software terms, the latency between what the helicopter is doing and what the camera mount's doing to counter that, to stabilize it. Have you seen a big reduction between the real-time movement of the helicopter and the ability of the camera mount to respond? I mean, from what you started with your Zenmuse, and then what you started with your initial designs, have you monitored that? Is that a number that you can talk about, the latency, the amount that the camera mount is actually moving behind the movement of the helicopter? Is that something you can talk about, or is it already as close to zero and you've got it?
The latency is minuscule. I mean, it's like you're talking about in all the systems, not just ours. I mean, those stabilization systems are operated fast, okay? And this is like this is typically it's up 1 millisecond. Okay, between you have the
sub 1 millisecond.
Yeah,
wow. And that's why everything is so stable now.
Yeah, it's around 1 millisecond, 2 milliseconds, but it's that kind of magnitude.
Right.
And but this does not mean that the actual gimbal operates flawlessly. Of course, because it's not just about how soon you start the movement, but how well you control.
Right.
So the Serenity is going to take us a notch higher in stabilization. It's going to dramatically increase the ability of the system to handle with vibrations, which is pretty good even today. And we're thinking that it's a step above the general market today.
Right.
But the Serenity is going to improve on that. The Serenity is going to come in several variants, from a relatively low-cost one up to like no limits one that's absolutely the best components you can get, and those components are very expensive. So this will be an expensive unit, but we see it used with like red cameras for production companies and so on. You could still build a very, very capable gimbal for a few thousands of dollars with the expensive Serenity. And the inexpensive one will be priced to be a very reasonable upgrade for existing Centerpiece owners.
Right.
Just plug in and do that. Cool. Following that, we're going to our plans are to come out with a camera controller, like a lamp and IR controller.
Okay, sure.
That connects to the Centerpiece, allows you to do RC mappings,
right?
Okay, and control the camera. Right. This will be this is not a product that we can make a lot of money on. I mean, it's not going to be an expensive product, but I'm thinking it's going to be a very popular product.
Well, you've got the Centerpiece, and that would be a natural point of entry into control of the
camera. It's going to be a point of entry, and it's going to be really enhance the capability of the Centerpiece, and I think that users will really love it. It's mostly for the users.
Right.
Okay, it's not something that's our top priority in terms of financial in terms to develop, because it's not a very lucrative product, but we think that it's going to really enhance the user experience of the users, and this is paramount. Okay, this is what we are.
So there's a lot of technology in Israel. Yeah. Israel has a very robust electronics industry, defense industry. So are you going to also be making physical equipment? Are you going to be introducing a Phobotic camera mount at some point? Or would you rather not talk about it? Did I just cross the line?
No, there are no questions off limits here in Israel. Yeah, in Israel we like to ask difficult questions. We sometimes also answer them. But this is not an option we're taking off the table. It depends on a lot of stuff. Well, we prefer to stick with electronics. Okay, this is what we want.
Your specialty.
Yeah, it is our specialty, but we also have some hardware. We have some mechanical design capabilities, but we prefer not to use those. Okay. We prefer not to use those resources and to continue with and continue doing the electronics. Whether or not Phobotic comes out with its own gimbal, it depends on how well, what kind of cooperations we have with gimbal makers,
right?
What kind of quality are those gimbals that are produced? Okay, I will certainly say that if we see that there's a vacuum somewhere in the market,
sure,
that no third party can fulfill,
sure,
okay,
that makes sense,
and that users are getting burned, with subpar gimbals and are not liking what they're having, then in such case, we'll definitely consider this option.
Right.
But this is not our first priority. This is not something we can go for. We want to supply the gimbal controllers to everyone. We are going to come out with a Phobotic certified program.
For the gimbal.
Yeah, for the gimbal.